Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I saw this video over on Twitter the other day, and lo and behold, it really goes to show you the state of not just my country here in Australia, but America and America's military. And I can only imagine how the enemy must be feeling or thinking after seeing a video like this circulate online and knowing full well that America is showing their real hand at the moment of weakness, not strength, but pure weakness. Now, have a watch of this video of Colonel Bree Fram, United States Space Force. From first to the future, why inclusion matters and why it's okay to have transgender people in the military and why we need to treat them with the respect that they so-called deserve. Have a watch.
Of inclusion across all groups in the military. Come back tomorrow morning for the first 10 minutes and then run away. I'm going to focus a little bit more today on my story and that of transgender service members and how and why that fits into the picture of why inclusion matters. Why does it matter to us as a military? Why is it not a negative that some people may believe it to be? And how do we as leaders use it to enhance mission accomplishment? But I want to start here. This was less than 2 years ago, 2 days after a 10-hour surgery that opened me up from here to here and washed out all my insides with chemotherapy after removing several organs. I was terrified. This was, as I said, this was 2 days later, and I was still terrified. Not that I was going to die, which was certainly a consideration before the surgery, but that I'd never put the uniform back on again. All of us come into the service knowing there will be a day we take the uniform off for the final time. We hope that it is on our terms. In many cases, it's not. That is the cost of service. But we want to get to that day where it is our choice whether or not we take this uniform off. And I did not know that I would be healthy enough to ever put it on again. But there is a reason that I wanted to stay, that I wanted to be part of this military service. And I hope by the end of what we get through today, you'll realize exactly what that is.
Now, if I was the enemy of America, which I'm not, I happen to be a big supporter of America, and I hope that America gets its head screwed on straight once again, and I hope that America is truly saved from the massive oblivion that it's really heading for at the moment. Same with all the other woke, backwards countries, including my own, which is sadly going down the toilet the more the days go on. And the more I look at what's happening in the world and where people are sort of heading and where their head's at as well, it really just, it worries me to some degree, but I don't let it get me down. Instead, I choose to focus on more positive aspects. But how can you truly focus on a positive aspect if you are in America at the moment when you have the US service, the Army, that is supposed to be protecting? They're the front line call in case of an invasion or in case of war. You have these people, let's just say that, you have these people that are very weak-minded and they don't really believe that they're there to help the American people. No, they're there to spread a rather damaging ideology that is going to continue to make the US service members weak. We recently saw a video, well, I don't know about you guys, but I saw this horrific video of a US Marine that decided to light himself on fire and shout the phrase "Free Palestine" in front of the Israeli embassy in the US, I believe. Now, there is a photo circulating online of another US service member. He's holding out his gun while the other US Marine is burnt to a crisp. And that photo has circulated online and is quite alarming to see that a US service member would be pointing a gun at someone that is clearly deceased. Like, what was the guy thinking? Now, I don't know the full context behind that photo to begin with, but I will say this. What's gone through that poor young man's mind to believe that he's had to burn himself at a stake, let's call it like what it is, have to burn himself in front of the Israeli embassy in the US, all because apparently he's not going to continue to contribute to a genocide. He lost his life, all because of indoctrination, all because of a belief. And so we transition back to, see what I did there? We transition back to this individual who is once again teaching US service members about inclusion, about how we can be more inclusive to transgender servicemen and women. That's if, the whole idea of transgenderism floats your boat. Now, unfortunately, you've got the enemy, which is going to be watching this, no doubt, and laughing their butts off. Because what enemy would be afraid? What are they going to do? Bore them to death with inclusive speeches? I don't think so. I think they're going to get their gun and shoot you. That's what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to really care too much about whether or not you are inclusive. You know what? If the enemy comes over, God forbid, and they go to a US military base and they storm in and they see all these service members, the transgender ones. What do you think the transgender service members' response is going to be? You think it's going to be, I'm going to pick up a gun and I'm going to start fighting? I don't think so. I think it's going to be, oh, please, don't kill us. We're trans. Please save us. Meanwhile, the enemy is probably going to be like, we do not care what you say that you are. So where does inclusivity on that front, where does it really matter? It doesn't. You're not preparing anybody for war, are you? No, you're preparing everybody to be inclusive of one another. When you're on the battlefield, I don't think inclusivity in this kind of context really matters. All you seem to care about is the fact the enemy's in the front, you are fighting, and guess what? I've got to have my own wits about me, and I've got to protect my mate beside me as well. I'm in my own unit. I don't care whether or not he has chosen to identify as a woman or not, and I don't really think that's going to matter. But you know what? The US Army is preparing all these young people. So if they were to go into, say, God forbid, a combat situation, oh no, I broke a nail. Oh no, this person said the wrong thing. God forbid. He was racist towards me. He was a transphobe. He said a transphobic thing. He called me a man when I'm claiming to be a woman. Really? Why does this matter at all? You know what this is? This is DEI indoctrination rubbish is what it is. It doesn't work. It makes no sense, and it makes the minds of men and women weak. We don't need it. Get rid of it. Instead, replace it with something along the lines of strength and unity. But no, we've got to put up with this nonsense and this garbage from somebody that cares more about the appearance of themselves than they do about the men and women that really need to be taught the truth. Oh no, I God forbid that my face was taken from me, my appearance, my looks, so I couldn't be transgender anymore. I couldn't dress up like a girl. I couldn't satisfy my urges anymore. God forbid. Why the hell are you even in the army? If I saw this person going into battle, I would be scared for the sake of my country and my own life, believe it or not. Now, on the other hand, if I saw someone like Jocko Willink, for example, a man of quite, we'll say, battle-ready stature, and someone that actually looks mean enough to take your life fairly quickly, yeah, I would be more confident. I wouldn't be so afraid for my own life because I know that that guy would be there to protect this person, along with all the other transgender employees, I'm sure, and the LGBTQ, whatever staff members. I don't think that they would be combat ready one bit. So what are they there for exactly? To just suck at the ever-growing economic tit and to try and ruin all the other soldiers? God forbid. Anyway, my friends, thank you again for watching. You take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.